Hello BookTube, this is Kelly with Books I'm Not Reading. Thank you for joining me today. Today I would like to share with you my top 5 favorite Christmas movies. And in doing this I realized that there was something missing from my collection, whether it's a movie or not a movie, but I would really like to own The Nutcracker on DVD. The two ones I've seen the most of are the George Balanchine one that was in 1993, and it has Macaulay Culkin in it, and it's just, he clearly isn't a ballet dancer, so, and I've also seen the one with Baryshnikov, again on DVD, and I like it, but it's really all about Baryshnikov. It's not really the Nutcracker. So I'm hoping that some of you can make some recommendations to me about adaptations of the Nutcracker that are available on DVD. I just would really like to have that in my collection. The Nutcracker was a big part of my life growing up. At Christmas time, I have on my tree here, I know I've shown you so many ornaments. Oh, and it's so bright. There's Clara holding her Nutcracker. If you do have any recommendations, please leave them in the comment section below, because that is something I would like to buy. Okay, so we're going to start. I will say I have cheated a little bit, and there's a tie for number 1. So we have 2 movies that hold number 1 spots, but it's still 5 movies all in all. So the first one is a film that I had not seen until, fairly recently, the last 5 years, I think. My parents came across it and eventually got us a copy of it as well. Christmas in Connecticut. It stars Barbara Stanwyck, and then Dennis Morgan, Sidney Greenstreet. Barbara Stanwyck is obviously the big star in this. And she is a writer for a column, Smart Housekeeping. And she writes about how she lives on this farm in Connecticut, and the food that she's making, and her baby and all this stuff, and it's all a total lie. But she's really good at writing this kind of fantasy world. So her boss and a war hero, and that's this character here, get invited, or invite themselves, so to speak, to her house for Christmas dinner. And she has no idea what she's doing. It's a really just kind of a comedy of errors, and it's very charming. Definitely safe for the whole family, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, it's a great for a laugh, and I do enjoy it. So this is my number 5 pick. Number 4, I'm sorry about the sun, is Miracle on 34th Street. This has Maureen O'Hara in it, a very young Natalie Wood. And this is something that I grew up watching as a child. I love this movie. There's one scene in particular that and there's several versions of this film, and that particular scene in every single version makes me cry. So I have seen this movie many, many, many times, but it's just something comforting about it. I like the old black and white version. I don't like the colorized things, but I do think this is just a really charming, funny, and just an upbeat movie to watch during the holiday season. The next one is Love Actually. And this has just like everyone under the sun in it. Hugh Grant, Liam Neeson, Colin Firth, Laura Linney, and Emma Thompson, the late and great Alan Rickman, Keira Knightley, Rowan Atkinson. There's a lot of people in here. And there's just a ton of different love stories, and some of them turn out well, some of them don't turn out. Some of them are ambiguous as to what actually happens, but it just fills me with joy. And there's certain stories that I look forward to seeing every year. Certain stories, I mean, you know, it is a bit of overkill as far as love stories, but nothing like a great romantic comedy at the holiday season. So I'm sure I would assume a lot of you have seen this movie since it's fairly recent. But anyway, so that is number 2. My tie for number 1. One of them I was not allowed to see growing up. My mother said it was so sad, and anytime it came on the TV, she changed the channel. We never ever watched it growing up. And then when I finally did, I cried through the whole thing, but by the end, they were tears of joy. And that's It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart and most beautiful Donna Reed. And it's a famous Frank Capra film. I love it, and I think it has a great message, a message about how our lives have meaning, even if we don't necessarily see it all the time. The impact that we can have on other people, and just again the value of our lives on this brief time on earth. So anyway, I love this movie, and so yeah, we do watch it every year, but now we just don't watch it with my family. So we have to plan when we're gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life. And also tied for number 1 is George C. Scott in A Christmas Carol, which I find quite fascinating, bookish, and I'll link to his review below. Just did a review of this movie. It has a very complicated scoring system. I'm not going to come up with anything like that. But again, this is the movie that I grew up, that every Christmas Day evening, if you will, we watch this. And so I have seen it many, many times. And this is, for me, the film adaptation of A Christmas Carol. I have seen a lot of the other ones, but, and I think we own the Muppet one. But this is it. Like, this is the one for me. Clearly not the one for bookish, but I love it, and I really recommend it. I did kind of give bookish a bad time in the comment section about the scenes that he chose, because there are other scenes in the movie that are, really moving and important. Top 5 Christmas movies would be Christmas in Connecticut, Miracle on 34th Street, Love Actually, George C. Scott in A Christmas Carol, and It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. So let me know what your favorite Christmas movie is. And again, I really do, this list would be different maybe if I had a great film adaptation of a stage production of The Nutcracker. I'm not talking like The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. I don't really know what that's about. And I do encourage you, if you live someplace, you're blessed to live someplace where there is a ballet company, and they do the Nutcracker every year, you should go, or you should at least, go to a ballet once in a while. The Nutcracker, for most ballet companies, is what pays for everything else the rest of the year. So it's a very, very important ballet. I would love to hear what your favorite Christmas movie is. Bookish, feel free to argue back with me about this. And I hope you guys are well and healthy. Remember to be kind to yourself and kind to others. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.